think it's kind of exciting that you have a brand new asset class.
Las Vegas, and this is interesting too. The digital asset guy, who I met him at XRP Las Vegas last year, he's at Digital Asset Guy. He says he approves the Paris Hotel and Casino, the best pool ever. He took some video. Apparently he must have stayed there last year. There's the Paris Casino pool. And then here's another shot. He looks like he's got a pretty good frame. And then there's from the pool. Hotel. There he is.
And you could spend $589 in your hometown doing absolutely nothing. So go to XRP Las Vegas. The Digital Asset Guy recommends it to everyone. Welcome to Digital Asset Guy Crypto News. Thank you for being here. Yes, that is my hero and mentor, who's been like a second father to me, digital asset investor, giving me a shout out in his video. You know, when I first started watching him, I was there for video number 1, which was like 8 years ago. I don't know, 2017, 18. I was in crypto about 2016. He just had a huge impact on me, just his delivery and everything, and he was able to explain things. And just I told myself, you know, someday, I don't know how, but if I ever could be a part of what he's doing or mentioned in one of his videos or anything, that would just be amazing. Probably it'll never happen. And then this is the second time he's given me a shout out. The first time was with my talk about the XRP Vegas Clarity Act markup discount. Let's see. He shared my, there it is. Digital Asset Investor shared Digital Perspectives repost of my post. Digital Perspectives is Brad Kimes, the founder and CEO of XRP Las Vegas, and he's a professional drummer. So we were able to, we were able to totally get lost talking about music. Digital Asset Guy is a saxophone jazz musician. We kind of got lost in talking about our musical influences last year at XRP Vegas, but just unreal to have two of my biggest heroes mention me and repost my post. You know, Digital Perspectives, he's got 200,000 followers. Digital DAI's got close to 500,000 followers. It's absolutely unreal to me. If you would have told me years ago that he would talk about me in his videos, I would have thought it would never happen. But it did. Never say never. Here's iTrust Capital, the digital asset guy's favorite place to buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrency and also precious metals inside of an IRA or not inside of an IRA, inside of a premium custody account where you get institutional grade custody for only a 1% trading fee. And if you have an LLC or a business, you can do the premium custody treasury and hold your crypto safely there, buy, sell, trade. But if you do it in an IRA, you can day trade and there are no tax consequences, or they are deferred tax consequences. My favorite's the Roth IRA because you already paid tax and it's tax-free. Then there's other really cool rules, like you can take out contributions. So with how volatile cryptocurrency is, you know, say that, so you're allowed to put $7,500 per year into a Roth. Say we were in one of these crazy bull runs for crypto like the last year or two, and something went from like 50 cents to $3.50, 700%. If you 7x your 7,500, you know, that's totally possible in crypto. You could take the original 7,500 out and you're probably not going to miss it if you 7x the 7,500. You can take that original contribution out. I am not an investment advisor, so don't quote me on that. There are stipulations and things. Talk to your investment advisor about it. Nothing I say in these videos is financial or investment advice, just my own personal thoughts, opinions, philosophies, crazy ideas, feelings, things like that. So today was a very big day for me because of that digital asset investor and digital perspective shout out. I've just been flooded with new followers. Of course, my old account got suspended for, I don't know the actual reason, but I have a good idea of why last time. So I'm getting all my followers back. Good evening, crypto. Liked my reply where I said, I think you hit it on the head. Down with the banks was never going to happen. And I personally want my wealth. Oh, somebody just liked something. Down with the banks was never going to happen. I personally want my wealth in utility-driven cryptocurrencies and blockchains, not stable coins. If I'm telling the honest truth, people, I planned to put a lot of my net wealth into stable coins inside of even the IRA after things like this happen. But guess what? Now that we're down, I don't want to put it in stable coins. I want to put it back in the utility-driven cryptocurrencies and blockchains like XRP and the XRP ledger. So I'm like, if I were to put it in USDC or even RLUSD, one day there will be a day where that'll make sense. But right now, in this kind of .com boom moment for crypto, I'm not really worried about making 2% on my stable coins. I'm worried about making 700% on XRP, and I truly believe that number will be peanuts in the future with everything coming. But today was a huge day for me, and it's not all about me. I want to teach the world about crypto and talk about how being a crypto investor, educator, enthusiast affects other parts of life, not just finances and economically. But it's a little bit about me because it's kind of like therapy. For years, I never talked to anyone else about crypto, and that wasn't really good for my mental health, I'm finding out. And so, it is about showing my journey in this thing. Here's Rob XRP007, like 3 of my posts. I was talking to Phil Kwok. I said, thank you. I'm more of a runner than a lifter. His brother is this huge, jacked Asian guy. It's like so unreal. And I think Phil's the runner. But I said, you're one of my heroes. I'm a crypto teacher in my hometown. I think what you've built is incredible. And yeah, this is Good Evening Crypto. This guy, his name is Abs, and I'm sure he's in really great shape, but his arms are absolutely huge for like his body type. But I'm going to show a little bit later. He put about the Bombshell Clarity Act deal, and he's talking about how the banks are basically suggesting that we don't have any yield on stable coins because they don't want us to, basically. And it sounds like that could be a possibility. I can't imagine they would let them do that because we have yield on stable coins now. So we could just not sign the Clarity Act, in my opinion, would be a better deal. But we'll see. But anyway, I said, I think you hit it on the head, Abs. Down with the banks was never going to happen. I personally want my wealth in utility-driven cryptocurrencies and blockchains, not stable coins. That is how I feel now. And for tax reasons, I don't see the point of going into a stable coin because you have to pay tax on it unless it's in an I Trust Capital IRA. I don't really see the point of that. Maybe if we get some of the things that I've been hearing about with the tax structure of crypto worked out, that may be a different story. Oscar Hernandez, he's a huge personality in the blockchain backer community. He's hilarious. Phil Kwok says, just followed you back. Got to go on a run someday with all of us who are on this journey together. I ran my first marathon in New York City last year. And so Phil and Dom, they are the founders of Easy A, which is a Web3 learning app, a really great one. and they're just absolutely incredible. Their voices are so unique.
Later, I threw it all away. The story starts in 2014 with a show called Suits. Fancy offices, drama, delivering justice. I was going to be a lawyer. I said goodbye to GTA, locked in, and a year later, I got into Cambridge.
So anyway, he tells the story about becoming Phil Kwok of the Kwok Brothers and Easy A. You can go watch that. You could look at these guys' content all day. They are highly entertaining. A little bit controversial now these days, but I like them. I think they've got style, and they're highly entertaining. Anyway, just a big day for me. I put Crypto Jazz, one of my good friends that I met at XRP Vegas, very involved with Stand With Crypto. She shared my picture that I posted of me teaching about wallets to to a group of my students in my hometown. And she says, let's see, what did she say? She said, DAG equals GOAT. And then I commented and said, goats unite. XRP Dad is someone I just met today through this whole DAI SHOUTOUT. And so he said, let's see, what did he say? Said, all XRP parents, repost this if you're doing this for your kids. And I said, I wish I had kids, but I quit dating. Everyone's out of everyone's league. And I just kind of posted that, not thinking, he would reply or anything. He says, I don't blame you, bro. Soon the women going to be running to you. I appreciate it, man. Very nice. But, I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything, but a lot of them, I reposted, I said they already are. There are none that I actually like or trust. Honestly, social media and dating apps have them living in a fantasy. I'm currently in the process of trying new methods completely that will be and will be posting content about the journey on my YouTube channel soon. There's been a slight delay in that due to the current negotiations with our country in the Middle East. Been a slight delay to that, but anyway, I said I'm passionate about shedding light on some serious problems happening with younger generations right now. Economics, relationships, romance, family dynamics, loneliness. I'm going to talk about all of it. Let's see, that's awesome, man. Check it out. Keep up the good work. Nice to see people setting goals and grinding like that. You sound like my kind of shed. Like me trying to shed the light on everything. Yes. So anyway, that was kind of neat. XRP Dad. So a lot of things happened today. I can't even keep up. This cowboy right here, really awesome guy. Met him last year at XRP Vegas. Here is Dom Kwok, Phil's brother. This dude, he is just jacked. Like, I don't know what he did or does. I'm going to have to talk to him at the conference, but these guys, their voices are just so epic. They're like, they were raised in, I don't want to get it wrong, but I think Australia, and they have these accents, but they're Asian, and it's just incredible. They're very unique individuals, and they're fearless. And let's see, little controversial, got some drama going on with people blocking them and things, but
ongoing myths or misconceptions about crypto that you still see in the day-to-day?
You just hear a lot, it's not for me. Anybody can use crypto, anybody can learn about it and benefit from this. It's like saying the internet's not for me.
Exactly, it's like saying the internet's not for me. So, anywho, all right, enough on that. Here is President Trump talking about Iran just hours ago.
They're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was...
I want to know so bad what the present was now.
A very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me, we're dealing with the right people. No, it wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related.
Ooh.
And it was a very nice thing they did. But what it showed me is that we're dealing with the right people. because, you don't know, because the leadership was killed, all gone. Khomeini, all gone, as the expression goes, the past supreme leader. And then the new supreme leader was racked up, at a minimum, racked up pretty good. And everyone else was gone. And then many of the people in the third tier, because they're going to make...
So anyway, that's a little bit about what's going on. Going to be interesting. That 5 days is still pending, to my understanding, from yesterday. Here's some really interesting things my good friend Abs at Good Evening Crypto was talking about today.
I see it done. I see a lot of ones out there. I'm in that category. There's also some twos, and I understand where you guys are coming from. We never thought we were going to get a perfect bill, but we were placing our bets on the fact that the Clarity Act would get across the finish line and change the momentum of the market here in.
That's why as soon as I heard that it was not going to happen in October, when my people in the know told me it would, that's why I knew, my antenna went up and I said, wait a minute, this thing was supposed to be as solid as the Genius Act and Trump allowing 401ks to allocate crypto. There's something a little bit off. Had that liquidation, said, you know what, I think this is next bull run.
2026. Well, this is a great example that prediction, let's call it a prophecy, is once again being proven correct. But there's another bill that I think our listeners aren't aware of, and maybe I haven't done it a justice here on Good Evening Crypto. Everyone's talking about the Clarity Act, said Dom from the EZA app.
That's Dom Kwok, the really buff guy I was just showing you.
But barely anyone's heard about the Parity Act. And this is a real act or a real bill that was implemented in December of 2025. So the Parity Act finally lets people use crypto in their daily lives. Here's what you need to know about the most important crypto act that nobody has heard of. And this is a real bill filed in December, guys. So remember, after the Clarity Act is approved, this will be...
So the gist of it, no capital gains tax on daily transactions. The act proposes a $200 tax exemption for personal crypto transactions. That makes sense, like buying coffee, paying for Uber or whatever. Although Uber can be really expensive. It's another discussion. Deferred taxes on staking income. This means you won't pay taxes on income you haven't received or assets that have depreciated in value. There we go. That's the reason the digital asset guy has never owned a stable coin. And I have never done staking like in large amounts outside of an IRA, because I don't like the way that the value could drop and then you're on the hook for the taxes that were for the taxes of the value on the day you got it. Like if you were staking in the bull market and you made a lot in, off of that staking, all of a sudden the value of the coin drops. You're on the hook for the taxes of the value it was when you got it. I don't like that, so I've never really done that. Never really got into the yield. I just chase the big gains in the 4-year cycles. Again, anything I say is not financial or investment advice, but this is all really interesting. I did a video or a short a while back. You gotta bear with me with this cough. We had like an 80-degree day on Sunday, and then we dropped down into the 40s. Had to turn the heater on. The cough comes back. I think I'm like allergic to my heater or something like that. It's the craziest thing. The week that I didn't have my heater on at all, no coughing. Felt perfectly normal. Gonna move. Anyway, that's interesting stuff. The blockchain backer, my favorite chart analyst, just scary, accurate. You can't be accurate all the time in crypto. No one can, but he calls the major moves. He says the time to be scared was long ago. Now we look for accumulation schematics. So this up here, I sold in this thing like right about here. And then I sold like a lot more when we bounced up off of that liquidation. But now we're really working out a bottom. I bought the bottom of this at $1.16, posted it on the X account. Proud of that, but if it comes down, I've got some dry powder left that I'm going to deploy. Today, I decided to watch a movie see, where'd it go? Decided to watch a movie that is not an easy movie to watch at all, called The Pianist. I'm a musician, and I remember seeing this movie when I was a lot younger, maybe like 12 or so. Traumatized me. Very, very realistic. I mean, I don't know what it was like, but from my research, it's a very historically accurate movie about the Holocaust. And it's, I get so tired of watching just movies that are not good today, which are a lot of them. And so I kind of, I'll watch a movie that's not easy to watch because I know it's a good movie and it has a meaning to it. Kind of with all of this war stuff going on with Iran, I am fully in support of what President Trump's doing. I believe this started back in '79, I believe, with Iran, and I think he's doing what's going to be best for our country and their country. However, all I'm trying to say here is I don't take war lightly. My Japanese grandmother, she was in Japan during Hiroshima, and she's told me, she had, back when she was alive, told me stories about the war, and stories that I remember vividly to this day that were very scary, and I know they were even more scary in real life for her. But anyway, I saw this movie come up on Tubi for free, and was eating dinner and decided to pop it on and just try to wrap my head around war, basically. I don't pretend to know anything about war. I'm just a little digital asset guy out here who tries to make sense of the world and history and things. And so I was trying to watch it, and it's not easy to watch, but this might put it into perspectives. Again, I think their government, just imagine if you were a citizen over there and that's just where you were and the situation you were in, and there's nothing you could do about what's going on and your homeland was destroyed. I'm just trying to be a little sensitive to that, even though I fully support what President Trump's doing. Just take a little watch of this. It's heavy, very heavy, but that's an incredible movie. The acting, the scenery, I'm told it's very accurate. And, I think about the problems in my life where a lot of times the most common one today is I feel insulted at my day job, sometimes insulted by family members who just purposely act insulting or ignorant of things, and or even friends that just have kind of made a decision at one time or another to turn their nose up at me and what I stand for and things. And anyway, I was just watching this film, and talk about insulting. This guy was trying to be a professional musician, which I have some experience with that, and just having a war come in and devastate your whole life when you were worried about your career. And, he had almost a romance that was just starting, and just watching that's just really heartbreaking. It just kind of, I think it's good for people to maybe watch just to put their life into perspective, and be thankful of the country that we live in and everything that we're able to do here. It's really not a bad deal. All right, this video is getting a little long. So thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe. Please comment below. I love to have conversations going in the comments. Crew Chief has got to get the award for most supportive and engaging, entertaining spectator. Thank you so much for your support, Crew Chief. All right, Digital Asset Guy out.